HousePlants. Welcome back to my channel, Sprouts with Joy. My name is Joy, and if you like to talk about plants, you're in the right place. At the end of pretty much every month, I make a favorites video featuring the plants that really stood out to me that month. But I was thinking about doing something a little bit different, potentially moving forward, depending on the month and that sort of thing. But I was thinking maybe it might be kind of fun to do a video that is not only my favorite plants of the month, but also my least favorite plants of the month. So I don't know, I don't like to be too negative or too much of a downer, but I also want to keep it real with you guys that not all of my plants are thriving all the time. I am not happy and thrilled with all of my plants all the time at all. Let me know if you guys like this format or if you would rather me make separate videos for the two topics. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about my favorite and least favorite plants slash plant things of March. I just have a couple of least favorite things. So we're gonna start with those just to get them out of the way, and then we can end on a high note. This first one's a bit of a doozy and a bummer. It's pretty obvious as to why this is a least favorite, and it's because it's practically dead. It's my homalomena humilis red velvet, which really sucks, but okay, I should have known better. I repotted this in a video of, I don't know, maybe a month ago or something. And when I unpotted it, first of all, I was repotting it because the soil that it was in was just not great. And so I wanted to give it better soil. And you can hear my son, baby, yeah, he's over there in the corner. I removed it from the nasty soil and I just wanted to replenish it with good soil. But when I did so, its root system was leaving much to be desired. It just wasn't a very established plant. I did not purchase it as a very established plant. What I should have done in that moment was, I knew better, so I'm a little bit mad at myself. I should have probably just put it into a medium that was better for developing roots, like sphagnum moss, and then put it into my rehab box rather than directly into soil. I was kind of wrestling because I was trying to film a video and kind of just get it done, and I didn't have sphagnum moss in hand, so internally I was just like, it'll be fine, right? It'll be fine. I just made a mess. And the effort of being dramatic. No, it was not fine. Dang it, I just spilled soil everywhere now. Anyway, I have something in my eye. Okay, the other thing about this is that I saw it declining, but I couldn't really do anything about it because last week I was on vacation in Colorado, which was great. But this plant was trucking along. Excuse me. This plant was trucking along. It was fine for weeks, and I just kept on caring for it as usual. But literally overnight, the day before I left, I was doing my rounds with my plants to make sure everybody was good. And this guy was like pretty much croaked. It was like, not good, I'm not doing great. I was literally packing to leave for Colorado and I didn't have time, and I was like, you know what? I can't deal with this right now, so sorry. So he was pretty, I mean, I kind of knew he was a goner. And then when I got back from my trip the other day, he was even more of a goner than he was before I left. So I don't know if there's any part of this plant that's salvageable. I might trim off these wilted leaves and stick him in the prop box container. See if there's any part of it that is still living that might return from the dead. But I highly doubt it. And it's really a bummer because I was really excited about this plant and excited to see what it would do, but ultimately its root system just was not developed and I screwed up. I should have done something different with it. And you know, we live and we learn, and it's fine. I got a solid lesson from this plant. Trust your gut. Because I didn't really follow my gut. I was just like, I know this isn't good, but I was in a much more task-oriented frame of mind. I was just trying to get the job done rather than doing what was best for the plant. Okay, I don't show my kids very often because I want to respect their privacy, but he was just being too cute. Like, be content with mommy feels. Yeah. He was being cute and he was making a lot of noise. So, baby break. The next least favorite plant, my Synapsis Strubii Moonlight. I have a love-hate relationship with. I think it's absolutely stunning. It has grown a lot, I feel like, but at the same time, it hasn't. It's a very slow plant. It's very vocal in terms of when it needs to be watered. It tells you, my goodness, the leaves just, you know. I watered this plant just before I left for my vacation. Then I came back and it was like, back here are some propagations that I put into the plant just to fill it out a little bit more. It's a little bit annoying because they get so much thirstier than the rest of the plant. It's just hard to like be juggling with, this plant is not thirsty, but these propagations are thirsty. And so I'll like try to water only the propagations, but it's kind of tricky to do that. So first of all, that's just annoying. And also when I was gone for vacation, so I watered this plant just before I left. And then when I came back, these propagations in here, they were like decently established before I left, but like apparently they just got way thirstier way before the rest of the plant. And so they're just like, that was really unpleasant. These are also propagations, but they're doing fine. But this one in particular, I think this leaf is probably gonna end up dying because it has reached a point of like no return. Same with this leaf. It's just, yeah. So that's one just irksome thing about this plant. The other irksome thing is, look at this freaking runner. Oh my gosh. This plant in the last few months over the winter, which is understandable, but still, over the winter time, it's been putting out these runners and these like wimpy little leaves. And I'm like, little miss, can you not? I love Synapsis as a genus, but I hate that they do this so much. Yeah, I know, mommy really is passionate about it. Yeah. It probably means that they like need something, like they want to climb or they want more light or whatever. This isn't an east-facing window, so I feel like it should be fine on the light, but maybe it wants more, I don't know. Maybe it just wants to climb, but like, I don't want you to climb. I want you to trail. I have seen a few of these in stores, like trailing down beautifully, and it's incredible, but this one just doesn't want to. And I don't know if that's because this is a Costa Farms Synapsis, so I don't know if the genetics are different on it. I don't know. It's from that batch, I know that. So it's really beautiful, like right here. But all it does all day is put out runners, and I cut them off because what else am I gonna do with them? This is kindling my wrath. Okay, let's take a deep breath and move on to the favorites, the things that these plants are thriving, they're doing good things, and I am happy with them. We're moving on to that. Okay. So this right here is my Hoya latifolia albumarginata. And do you see that right there? Yeah? Okay, I'm gonna be so careful with it. This is a peduncle, and it's my first peduncle. I spotted it a couple weeks ago, and it has continued to develop. I really think it's gonna like actually go all the way and bloom for me. I'm so excited because this is my first Hoya bloom ever. I am just literally so happy about this, guys. It's fairly self-explanatory why this is on my favorites list right now. I'm honestly really shocked that this Hoya of all Hoyas is like the one to bloom for me right now. It's not my Hoya that is thriving the most. Actually, I've just been trying to be patient with this Hoya for a long time because it hasn't done very much in recent months, especially over the winter. It just kind of stopped growing other than putting out this long runner right here. But Hoya runners I don't mind as much because, you know, they can actually put out leaves later on. I'm hoping that this plant isn't blooming because it's stressed out. which I think is technically a possibility. But I'm not gonna tell myself that. I'm gonna tell myself that it's blooming because it's happy. Because even if I'm in denial, it still makes me happy, okay? Okay, look at that. They're so cute. Okay, these are obviously orchids. They're basically, I mean, they're mini orchids. I have never considered myself to be an orchid person. I don't know very much about orchids. I kind of do, but I never really gravitated towards them. From the time I was a little kid, like I just didn't like the look of them. However, comparatively speaking, I do like the little tiny flowers of the mini orchids. I think that they're really cute. So of all the orchids out there, I prefer the ones with the smaller flowers, for sure. So even though I didn't feel like orchids were ever my vibe, they do hold some sentimental value for me, because for my parents' anniversary and for my mom's birthday, my dad would like always, every single year, multiple times a year, he would get my mom an orchid, and she also managed to like get it to rebloom and that sort of thing. Like she was really good with orchids, and so there is some sentimental value there where I just have really good and strong memories of that being symbolic of my, I guess, parents' marriage continuing to go strong, or their romance, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it was really, really sweet. Wow, I've just been like holding these and they're framing my face. It's so funny. But back to the actual point, these were given to me, oh, maybe 6 months ago by a friend. Obviously, as orchids do, their blooms died off, and then I just had them sitting in a west-facing window, and I just would water them periodically. These pots don't even have drainage. I would just pour some water in there, like a little bit, and they have started budding and blooming for me. Again, this is the first orchid that I've gotten to rebloom. Admittedly, they're also the first orchids that I've like actually tried to do it and kept them long enough that they would rebloom. So especially with it being springtime and stuff like that, I'm just very excited that it worked, and it's given me some more confidence with orchids. And I don't know, maybe I'll get more into orchids in the future with different kinds of orchids, particularly again, like the ones with these smaller blooms I really, really like. That's pretty much it. Like I got these to rebloom and they're really happy. And so I feel very accomplished. And they're just super, super cute. Like look at that. That's so fun, guys. If you guys have any more specific orchid tips, I just don't know much about them because I haven't taken the time to research it. So, all right, you guys, my next favorite is my Hoya Marillii, which if you saw a few videos back, maybe I'll like link it or something, I don't know. But a few videos back, I was repotting this and I realized that it had dry rot. It had been in sphagnum moss, and I had let it dry out too much, and so the roots were just really stringy. And it was unintentional because the top of the moss was wet, but I didn't realize that it hadn't fully soaked through to the rest of it, which is a bit of a bummer. But I went ahead and put it in the soil, but then put it in my prop box, which is what I should have done with my homalomena from earlier. And it's bouncing back to the point where randomly, like along this stem, which I thought was really funny, it's popping out a new leaf, like towards the bottom of the stem, which you'll have to let me know if your Hoyas have done that. I know they have like different growth habits, but I guess this just must be like a new growth point that it's starting out. So this is a new leaf right here. It's bouncing back. It's happy enough to be producing a new leaf, and it's in a south-facing window. So it's given me sun stress, and it's a really, really cool. It's still growing, as you can see. I mean, it is not hardened off yet, like at all. And yeah, it has sun stress, and I'm excited for that. I love Hoyas that have sun stress. I haven't really tried hard to sun stress any of my Hoya yet. I came back home from my trip and I checked on my prop boxes and I saw this leaf happening and I was like, whoa, mind blown. That's so fun. It's a pretty straightforward one. This is actually bouncing back from not being happy with me, and it's growing again, which is super encouraging. So yes, we'll have to see if he pops out like more growth points or anything like that. I'm really curious to see like how he decides to grow. But so far, that is very fun. And then the last thing that I wanted to highlight isn't even a plant, it's actually a planter. So I just watered this after coming home, so don't mind all the uneven coloration, I guess, of the terracotta. But it's just, I really love the look of rectangular terracotta planters. And if you saw my video before this one, I think it was like a plant chores video or something, where I found this at Lowe's. It was Home Depot, I think. And it's just a window planter, basically, is what they call it, but it's terracotta. I love the look of terracotta in general, but this being a rectangle, I just think it's fun and it's happy. It's perfect for my crawling plants, but I think I would even consider potting multiple plants into it. Oh my gosh, that just whacked me in the face. Where, you know, you could put a trailing philodendron here and then like another trailing philodendron here, or just one big trailing plant, I think would be really beautiful. Obviously it works really well for crawlers too. The majority of my pots are circular in shape, but there's also rectangles, and I'm sure there are other shapes that you can get that are more organic, but this rectangular pot here has just been making me happy. My husband's calling. Hello? Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much it, and my son's getting antsy, so I should probably just wrap it up. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want to. If you have any specific plants that have really stood out to you this month, or also maybe that are not your favorite, that are your least favorite or whatever, I would love to hear about it as well. So yeah, I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye-bye.